Sales is a super fast-paced world and it's easy to fall behind. In order to keep up, you need to set yourself up for success. And the way that you do that is by using tools that can help you to be more effective and efficient. I know firsthand the stress that comes with being a sales professional. Welcome to my class on the Success Toolkit for Sales Professionals. My name is Joanne Augustin and I am a self-employed copywriter and content strategist. I am the owner and founder of All Things Content LLC, which is a female-owned and operated boutique digital marketing agency. Storytelling is absolutely my passion. However, effective communication is definitely my weapon of choice, and it keeps me going in sales and customer service. In my experience as a sales professional, I found it really difficult to juggle a lot of the expectations and just everyday fires that you have to deal with. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to provide other sales professionals with a success toolkit that they can use in their everyday sales life. This class's lessons include going through a standard sales funnel where we'll review from step 1 all the way down to the bottom of the funnel. We will talk about creating customer portfolios, in addition to going through a live sales quota tracker. And we will wrap up the class with going through content solutions that you can use to support your sales process. By the end of this class, you'll feel like you'll have a much better handle on your daily sales and quarterly goals. When you're proactive and you take control of your schedule, you have more of an opportunity to better manage the everyday fires that come with being a sales professional. Whether you are an account manager or a director of sales or even an assistant to a director of sales, you can find a lot of value in a lot of the tools that we're going to be discussing in this class. This sales quota tracker is actually going to be your class project. Please feel free to use the discussion board where I will be looking very attentively to answer any questions that you may have, and also make sure to upload your class project to the project gallery where I will be providing feedback. Let's get started. Your prospect's customer journey usually starts with a problem or a question, and your product or service is the solution to that problem. Let's get into what a sales interaction is. A sales interaction is an interaction between a prospect, someone who is interested in your products or services, and a sales professional, someone who can speak to those products and services. Now, it's important to note that a sales interaction also includes existing customers. So, for example, an existing customer may want to add on additional products or services to their portfolio. In order to be successful in sales, you first have to understand the framework. The sales process starts way before a customer actually interacts with a sales professional. The sales process actually starts with marketing. Most marketing sales funnels mimic the AIDA method, an acronym that stands for awareness, interest, desire, and action. So let's dig into those 4 stages. The first stage is awareness. In the awareness mode, this is where a prospect makes the first contact with your brand. So this could look like a Facebook ad, it could look like a social media post, or it could look like a blog post. Now the second stage is interest. This is where content is used to get your prospect interested in the product or service that you have. The next stage is desire. In the desire stage, this is where you convert a prospect from liking what you offer to actually wanting to purchase what you offer. And then finally, that lands us with the action stage. In the action stage, this is where your prospect takes a specific step that turns them into a new customer. And once that action is taken, that is when we move into the internal sales process and the internal sales funnel. It's crucial to understand this funnel because it could really help you to understand what your prospects are going through when they have a problem, and that can help you to provide solutions for those problems. In the first stage, which is untouched, this is where you really need to understand the problems that your prospect has. and you leverage those problems once you move to the contact made stage to come with unique solutions that can help solve those problems. When we move over to the qualified stage, this is when you use pre-qualifying questions to ask your prospect more information about what they're looking for and how exactly your solutions, as far as your products or your services, can help them in this stage. Once a prospect has moved from qualified to proposal presented, this is when they are also considering other vendors. It's very important to focus on benefits instead of feature selling in this stage of the funnel. Now, to push to negotiation, this is where you can leverage a lot of the marketing content solutions that your team provides for your company. So you can leverage content pieces like FAQ docs, blogs, videos about product demos. Any of that kind of supporting content can really help to move the needle from negotiation to one. If you get to the one stage, we know that that is definitely something to celebrate. Now that I've walked you through a sales funnel, make sure to leverage your internal marketing team to acquire a customer journey map. Now, once you have the customer journey map, you can create your own specific sales funnel. And when you have that, make sure to add pre-qualifying questions as well as top 5 benefits at the end of the funnel. If you're in sales, you likely have a sales quota. So your sales quota may look like a monetary amount, or it may look like based off of the amount of products that you sell or services that you sell. Sales quotas are also tracked by a specific time frame. So that could be monthly, quarterly, or annually. Most companies have a large annual company goal, and then they divide that goal based off of their divisions. Once the divisions receive their sales goals, they then divide that amongst their sales professionals, and that's how you get your sales quota. We actually have an example of a sales quota tracker, so let's get into that. Here you'll see that we have a sales quota tracker, and there are 2 tabs here. The first tab just has your basic information about your sales goals. The first part is the annual sales goals. So that is the company goal. And then you have the division sales goal. And after that, you have your individual sales goal. So for the second tab, we're going to just focus on your individual sales goal. However, you can also tweak this template to help you track how close your division is and also how close your company is to their goal as well. So let's move on to the quarterly sales goal. So the first thing that you'll notice on this template is that we have each quarter broken out. We have quarter 1 at the top here, then quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. Now, each of these buckets include different sections that will help you to better track your goal. The first section is opportunity. So here is where you would include a lot of the information from your customer relationship management system, also known as your CRM system. So the CRM system is definitely make or break when it comes to being successful in sales. In this first section, you'll see that it has the company name and the contact name. So this will be the company name of the customer that you're working with or prospect, and then their actual name will be here. Under size of deal, this is where you would include how much money you project would come from this sales interaction. That is then calculated here under the probability of the deal. So the probability of the deal is the likelihood of you closing on this deal, and that is determined by the pipeline stage. The pipeline stage is the sales funnel stages that we talked about in our previous lesson. Based off of where you are in the sales funnel, that will dictate the probability of the deal. Moving on to the next section here, you have your projected closing date. In the projected closing date, this is where you will be able to dictate the weighted forecast of the deal. Moving on to the next section, you'll see that we have next action and notes. This is a section that you should definitely really pay attention to because this is where you can plan your day-to-day sales. For next action, this is where you would include things like follow up with a proposal or things like schedule a contract confirmation call. In the notes section, this is where you would include some special notes about your customer or prospect. So these special notes can include whether the customer is an influencer or a decision maker. It can also include special notes like when their fiscal year is, because that determines, when they'll have the budget to actually pay for the product or service that you're working with them on. And each of these sections are divided per quarter. So if you move on to the next quarter, the same categories are included here, and you're able to replicate the method that we just went through for each quarter. The way that you can use your sales quota tracker is to track where you are in your sales process, but also to track where you are in achieving your sales goal. Now that we have gone through the sales quota tracker, please take the time to download it from our project gallery and fill it in with your specific sales information. And remember to leverage your CRM system, your customer relationship management system, to include all of those special notes that you need to push your prospects down the sales funnel. Knowing your customer portfolio is the most important part about becoming a successful sales professional. We actually have a slide here where we can go into what should be included in a customer portfolio. So let's dig in. In a customer portfolio, the first section that you should have should focus on the power status and the contact information of the prospect that you're speaking to. Power status means, is this person a decision maker or are they a key influencer? So the difference between a decision maker and a key influencer is that a decision maker is the person who signs on the dotted line, and a key influencer is someone who has a lot of influence on whether or not the decision maker will take action. For contact information that you should be including in your customer portfolio, you should absolutely have the company name for the customer as well as the customer's preferred name, their email address, and their preferred phone number. The second section of your customer portfolio should include their sales language. When you're thinking about a customer sales language, think about what would push them across the finish line. The different content pieces that can help with that include reports, presentations, new features or technologies, discounts and deals. Any of those things can help to further influence your decision maker to take action. And you should definitely know what those are in preparation for any sales interaction. The third section of your customer portfolio should include their preferred method of communication as well as your last touch point. In this section, you should make sure to note whether or not your customer prefers to respond to your questions via email, or if they prefer phone calls, or even if they prefer scheduled meeting times, and in some very rare cases, to be text. Also include when was the last time you communicated with this customer. Your last touch point is a very important note in the customer portfolio because that is something that you can leverage when you reach out for the next time. And the final section of a customer portfolio is key dates and special dates. So these dates can include a variety of things, and we'll list a few. The first date that you should definitely have is your customer's fiscal year or their budget start. And that date will dictate when they can actually start a contract. If they are an existing customer, you should always include the renewal date. As far as special information, if you know anything about this customer's kids, birthdays, or vacations, you should definitely include those dates as well, so that as you're building your customer relationship, you can leverage these dates in those interactions. It's the small details that go a long way. Use your customer portfolio to create touch point timelines. So what this means is based off of your last touch point or some of the key dates that we just discussed, work backwards from that and create an actual timeline to continue communication with this customer and pushing them through the funnel. Now that we've covered the customer portfolio, I would like for you to go into your internal systems and pull a report of all of your customers and leads. And once you have that report, go ahead and add fields that include all of the things that we just covered in the customer portfolio overview. As we've mentioned before, sales is a super fast-paced world. And in order for you to stay up with everything that's going on, you have to work smarter, not harder. And the way that you can do that is by leveraging templates. Templates will absolutely streamline the process because you will find that you'll be having a lot of the same conversations via email. So now I'm going to walk you through a few grab and go email templates. The first template that we have is a cold email. So this email is for a prospect that is in the untouched part of the sales funnel. In this email, you can see that we already have a subject line that says, "Sorry, I missed you." This is a subject line that can really grab the attention of the prospect because they may think that it's somebody that they already know. That's one reason why we want to have that so that they can open the email and actually see what you have to say. Another thing to note with these templates is that everything that needs to be changed or updated is in red. And we want to make sure that's in red to avoid any small errors. In this email, make sure that you have the prospect's name, and also there's a sentence that indicates that you tried to contact the prospect, which is why the subject line says, "Sorry, I missed you." So you can see the first line here says, "I just left a message with Stacy at your office," and then it goes into saying your name, your position, and your company. Another thing you want to make sure you include in a cold email is an interesting fact about your company and also how it relates to the prospect's company. And then you can go into how your company's product or service can be a solution and benefit to the prospect. After you've done that, go ahead and include times that you can connect. So ask them how their schedule is, and then also just go ahead and provide those availabilities in this section down here. And then end your email with the fact that you look forward to connecting with them in the near future. The second email is a pitch email. So the subject line is action required, your company name, and then proposal enclosed. So this email is part of the proposal sent stage of the sales funnel. So you'll see here that you have your regular intro. Make sure to include the prospect or client if they're renewing, their name, and then put in a couple of special notes about the last time that you guys connected. And then after that, you have a sentence that introduces the fact that a proposal is attached. And you can include those details of the proposal as far as what the service is, what the product is, and then also the contract term. After you've done that, it's always a great thing to include some takeaways. So maybe 3 to 5 key benefits from this actual proposal so that you can remind them why they were interested in the product or service in the first place. And always end these emails with next steps, some kind of call to action. In the next steps section, you can see here that it says that you will send over a contract for e-signature once they've decided on the proposal that they would like to move forward with. And of course, as always, end the email with a greeting and also looking forward to connecting with them in the near future. Moving on to our next email. This email is the renewal email. So this is going to be going to a client that is an existing customer and that has some type of contract with your company. Again, in the subject line, you want to have action required. This is going to draw their attention to the email. And then you will include the company name as well as renewal details enclosed. So this really lets them know what's in the email and what to expect. Always start off with a greeting and with the name of your client, and then follow that up with some special notes about the last time you encountered. In the second section, this is where you're very detailed about the renewal that is enclosed. You have the product or service package. You also have the date that the renewal will be expiring. And then you also include additional options if you are looking to upsell this particular client. Make sure to include a section that includes 3 to 5 key benefits that reflect option 2. This will obviously remind them about why they may potentially want to upgrade their current contract. End the email with next steps, which is letting them know once they have selected an option, they will receive a contract for e-signature, and then of course, thank them for their continued business. So now that we've covered some key email templates that you can leverage in your day-to-day sales, I would like for you to go ahead and create your own templates. So in order to support you in doing that, please feel free to leverage the templates that we just covered in this lesson by going back in the lesson and getting some screenshots. Or you can access those templates in our project gallery. As you get further into your career as a sales professional, you'll notice that sales and marketing go hand in hand. In order to be a successful sales rep, you really have to understand how your marketing counterparts sell the products before you interact with customers. And the way that you can learn how to do that is by understanding the content solutions that they use during your prospect's customer journey. As you're walking your customer through the sales funnel, there are several content pieces that you can leverage to support your argument for the benefits that your product or service offers. At the top of the funnel, you can leverage content pieces like blog posts or videos. In the middle of the funnel, you can leverage content pieces like in-depth guides. And then at the bottom of the funnel, you can leverage more specific content pieces like FAQ docs and comparison charts. So now that we've covered a few of the content pieces that you can leverage in the sales process as you navigate your prospect from the top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel, I would like for you to take the next step in building a relationship with someone on your marketing team. So let me be the first to congratulate you on completing the class. I am so grateful and excited that I was able to share my tools for success. I really hope that you're able to leverage these tools for success to improve your sales profession. Also, please feel free to leverage the discussion board so that I can chime in along the way if you have any questions. And don't forget to submit your class project, which is the sales quota tracker, so that I can provide you with feedback. It has been a pleasure teaching this class, and I am so excited to see you guys in my next one. Thanks so much for tuning in.